Adoni Iraola, a 2-year contract with Liverpool Football Club, signed, sealed, delivered. He is theirs. He is ours. And I'm excited. There's a lot of reasons why I'm excited. And I think his interview encapsulated a lot of that. He spoke on the need to restructure and maybe even resurrect the connection between the players himself and the fans, the need to utilize the youth, the beauty of Liverpool, the passion of Liverpool, and how passion and the emotion of football is one of the leading factors in the connection that he has with Liverpool. He describes Liverpool as Liverpool, and I found that very endearing. I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited for a lot of different reasons. I think the style of play is something Liverpool fans will attach to naturally. I think the players that are at the team currently are very adaptable to this setup. I've seen a lot of conversation around whether Wirtz will adapt. I think he's very well suited to it. I'd look at the way Justin Kluivert played for Bournemouth. I think he'll be utilised very similarly. Kirkes will thrive in this setup. I think some of our midfielders will thrive. Others, I understand there are question marks over McAllister, Gravenberch potentially as well. But I think with the right additions, these players will as well. I think the training methods are something that has been questioned. Semenyo offered criticism and also plaudits for the way that Bournemouth trained under him. When they were losing, it was terrible to train 6 days a week. But once that first win clicked, it felt like it was a necessity and the players began to enjoy it and thrive on it. And they felt like they were getting better as a result. Alex Scott commented recently about the power of Iraola as a coach and how he felt like he was able to improve him defensively, offensively, on the ball, off the ball, and how he's rated so highly in the minds of the players at Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth to Liverpool is a huge step. There are a lot of differences there. Namely, Bournemouth were mostly off the ball and pressing. Liverpool will be on the ball. And how do you break down a low block? Bournemouth haven't really had to come across that too often. I think that is something that Iraola is going to need to adapt to. Adaptation is something that he referenced in his interview. He knows that, and he's aware of that, and he knows and he respects the fact that there are elements of his game and elements of his coaching style that will adapt and change, but he's ready for it. He seems prepared. He seems excited at the prospect rather than reluctant. Something that has been said by Iraola that I find very interesting is his desire to use the youth academy and his excitement to work with players returning off loan, namely Lewis Kumas and Harvey Elliott, as well as working with the youth players during the World Cup to see what they're about, to see which ones are ready to step in to a first-team Premier League squad. I look at a few of our players, specifically Kumas, Elliott, Nioni, Rio, Will Wright, and I'm very excited. We signed 2 young centre-backs in January. I think they were 19 and 20 years of age, maybe 18 and 19 years of age. We haven't seen them yet, but they're rated so highly. I'm excited. James McConnell, very highly spoke of at Liverpool. I'm excited. I'm excited for these players, not only at the prospect of them playing for Liverpool in pre-season, but potentially maybe the solution to some of Liverpool's problems in the squad and squad depth can be found in their youth players. Now, I am not saying Liverpool should not go for a Barcola. Liverpool should not go for an Adam Wharton. Liverpool should not go for an Alex Scott. What I am saying is not every answer for Liverpool's transfer strategy needs to be found outside. I think the development of Liverpool's youth products could really pay dividends, not just in developing them and selling them, but developing them into players that we would end up paying 40, 50, 60 million for. And I do believe that that is the long-term plan in part for Liverpool. The way we've been moving in the last 12 to 18 months with the youth academy suggests that, and I think it is a very reasonable model, but only works if you supplement it with the right players. Liverpool supplemented the squad last season. Wirtz, Isak, Hugo Ekitike, Kirkes. You buy these players to develop and to be the main players, to be your future leaders potentially. I think the squad players can, instead of being 20 million for this random player here, 15, 20 million for this player that we're not sure of here, that come in on big wages, I would be very excited at the prospect of seeing Trey Nioni being involved more next season instead of us buying a squad player central midfielder. I would be excited at the idea of seeing James McConnell step in place if Endo is to leave. I'm excited at the prospect of Ruben Gamoa taking the lead and really running with it. Liverpool need a forward. Isak is obviously injury prone. Ekitike is out to January, February. Is there a chance you could utilize Will Wright? I'm not saying every single one of these players must step up now, and now they must be there and ready. But it's the prospect of it. It's the opportunity. Now, of course, Liverpool need to move in the market. Yan Diomande, Barcola, Adam Wharton have been named. There have been links, of course, to Van Heck. There's been links to others as well. The man who was at, I forget his name, the centre-back that was at Bournemouth that moved to PSG looks to be on his way out as well, potentially a reunion there. It sounds like Iraola is wanting to do that. And it also sounds like in one or two articles I've read, a criticism and huge issue with Arne Slot was the lack of involvement with the academy. It had been noted a few times as lack of attendance at academy games, his lack of involvement with the youth players was what led to part of the review and part of the reason why he left at the end of the season. I think Iraola will use that. Iraola has certainly formed a habit of developing very good players from young ones, in part from recruitment, but also giving them the opportunity. Huijsen, a good example. Kirkes, another. Ryan, another. Semeno, another. Kluivert, when he first joined, another. Alex Scott, another. These are players that came in young, needing an opportunity to play, and he gave them the opportunity. Some younger than others when they came in to play. And I think Liverpool can present a platform to the correct balance, in the right way, can present a really good platform for it. I think one thing the Anfield faithful give young players is opportunity. The one thing the Anfield faithful give young players is confidence. The three sides of the ground were chanting Rio, Rio, Rio every time he got the ball. Bradley against Real Madrid, he was treated like a hero just off one tackle. I think that is something Liverpool fans thrive off. Liverpool fans, of course, every football fan loves a big name signing. Of course we do. But I think Liverpool fans know how to elevate, praise, and really celebrate young players from their academy. How to celebrate and develop young players. One of the reasons I think some players succeed at Liverpool isn't just their individual talent, it's their ability to play to a crowd. And Liverpool provide that crowd for players to play for. I don't want to go on too much of a tangent there, but overall, my point being, if the balance is struck, the squad should be filled out with young players who are given opportunities. And I hope to see that under Iraola. Of course, additions are still needed. And finally, he spoke of the connection between the fans and his desire to earn that and his willingness to earn that. And it was I'm paraphrasing, but it was the feeling of earning the respect from the fans. And that feeling that was presented in the conference, I found really admirable. I found very likable. I found something special in that. And it felt similar to the way I've heard others speak about Liverpool players. The way Firmino spoke in a way, or there was a humbleness to it, is what I'm kind of getting at. I think that's something that Liverpool fans take to very well. I think Iraola is really going to connect with the crowd. I really do. I'm very excited for the season. And if a week ago, after the departure of Konate, Robbo, Salah, and the uncertainty over the future regarding others left Liverpool fans feeling, surrounded in doom, gloom, and almost a disconnect from the club, maybe this week has given fans that rejuvenation, that hope, and that desire to see what next season brings. The pre-season is really just around the corner. It starts only in a few weeks, and I will be glued to my screen to see what Iraola is bringing and which players stand out from that young side that he will be fielding and training with. Who knows what will happen in the transfer market? That is for another day and another discussion. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you made it to the end of it. If you did, please drop a sub, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Where could Liverpool go in the market? Where could Liverpool go in their youth academy for solutions? And yeah, really appreciate it. I have, of course, started a YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, really do appreciate it if you could subscribe and share it. If you're watching this on social media, give it a share. I do appreciate it. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Appreciate it. And I'll see you later. I reckon I said appreciate it about 20 times.